Hey everyone, Blair Mystic Fox here, back with a new episode of Information's Occult. Today, before work, we are going to be covering the 12 universal laws and what they detail and how they work. So let me just open up my journal here because I took a lot of notes yesterday for everyone. Give me a second. Now, for anybody who's seen my 3 other videos, we went over what magic was, how it works, and what it details. We covered how it was symbolism, how most of everything that happens is a transmutation of the subconscious mind. So, with that being said, let's talk about the mind. Here are the 12 immutable universal laws, starting with number 1, the law of divine oneness, meaning that this is objective knowledge here, so there's no offenses intended. But this law is considered very literal, as it embodies the Zen principle that all things are connected within you and around you. We also talked about yesterday how dimensions mingle with one another on a constant basis, whether you're aware of it or not. This is one of the ways that happens. And it goes on to say that everything is connected to everything else. Number 2 is the law of vibration, meaning everything in the universe moves, everything vibrates, everything is constantly in motion. Another word for this would be kinetic movement. Kinetic energy never stops. That's why when you grow stagnant in your lifestyle, that is why when you spend 3 days inside doing nothing, you start to lose your mind and get angry at everything, because you are stagnant. Alright, the law of action. Okay, the law of action supports thoughts, dreams, emotions, words, and also has to do with engaging in action to manifest desires on Earth. That has a lot to do with the law of correspondence and the law of polarity as well, which we'll go into the more complex versions of these at a later time. Number 4, the law of correspondence. Correspondence has a lot to do with that statement on dimensions I keep referring to. As above, so below as above. To anybody with a Christian background, if you've ever heard of the Book of Abraham, how God tried to create the universe 7 times and failed. And when he succeeded on the 7th day, how there were 7 realms, from above, below, and center. 7, 7, 7. Wow, the number of God. Whoa. Okay, so, number 5, the law of cause and effect, meaning nothing is random. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause, both inside you and around you. Okay, number 6, the law of compensation. The law of compensation indicates that everything that you are blessed with or cursed with is a result of your karmatic action. The law of compensation compensates us for how we approach our lives. Now, here's a really nice saying that I was educated on yesterday. You do not happen to life. Life happens to you. So, no. Life doesn't happen to you. You happen to life. Yeah, that's right. You happen to life. Here's everyone's favorite. Number 7, the law of attraction. The energy through thoughts and actions that manifest our intent. Basically, in Witch World, it's to say that if you focus on something long enough, with enough action intended, and enough behavioral cooperation, you can make pretty much anything happen. Now, for anybody who has a hard time understanding the law of attraction specifically, you should probably check out Robert Greene. He's not a mystic in any way, shape, or form, but he's a master manipulator and a master psychologist, and he's one of my favorite authors. He teaches everybody how to get what you want by asserting thought form, behavior, and wordplay. His 2 very famous books are The Art of Seduction, my favorite, and the 48 Laws of Power, which the 48 Laws of Power will come off as very dark reading the summary. However, I think it's something to be looked at with a neutral mindset, because honestly, the 48 Laws of Power get very real world and political, and I'm not surprised that he wrote his content the way he did there. Okay, so Number 8, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, the power to change our conditionings. Meaning, if something is happening to you, whether on purpose or magically, whether it's your fault or somebody else's, you do have the power, the thoughts, the emotion, the words, and the actions to change that condition of your life. However, transmutation is not just deciding that you're going to go from bad to good. Transmutation is literally taking an energy and converting it to the opposite polarity before it has been turned into an action. For instance, when I was 17, I had a mental breakdown for what seemed to be, I don't know, let's not get into personal stuff. The point is, something happened to me, I had a breakdown, and I kind of got a dark power out of it. For a while, it scared me, and through much meditation, I found out that I could use whatever this was for positive purpose. And back then, that specific power controlled me. Now I control it. Transmutation. Okay, so number 9, the law of relativity. Lessons bestowed for change, meaning all things are relative. All things are experience, all things are information. You don't have to learn something by reading in a book like I am now. You can learn from a conversation, you can learn from observation, you can learn from taking up substance or taking a journey and the experiences of both. That is the law of relativity. All things are relevant. Okay. Number 10, the law of polarity, the continuum of poles. What is to the extreme right is also to the extreme left. What is holy is also what is evil. Everything has its pair of opposites. Now, the law of polarity, it's not really stated, but it has a lot of correspondences to the law of gender, because we have yin and we have yang, we have white, we have black, we have light, we have darkness. Light is the illumination of things when a prism is shined through an equilateral triangle, revealing an array of 7 colors. Darkness is the absence of all of that. In symbolism, enlightenment is when you learn from your ignorances, when you are no longer ignorant. In the Bible, it says that we are born into darkness. It's right. We are ignorant as fuck when we're born. We know absolutely nothing at all about ourselves or the world around us. It is our journey to go through life, to learn, experience, and to prosper, to become enlightened. Welcome to the world. Okay. Number 11, the law of rhythm. Everything vibrates. And the law of rhythm also goes to say more, as we were talking about the law of vibration somewhere up there, the law of rhythm is another explanation of kinetic energy and kinetic movement. Like I said, all things are always in motion. They never stop. You ever watch The Flash and you notice that even though he can walk in the beginning, like in the first season, he had no powers except for running, and he would run face first into a wall. And the only way he could get through the wall is by vibrating his entire body at 10 times the speed of a normal vibration. That's still supportive there. And we have the law of gender, meaning gender manifests within and all around us. Gender is more of an energy than it is a penis or a vagina, as male and female are considered between subtle and volatile, meaning aggressive and non-aggressive energies. A feminine energy will be very soothing, like when you're in a cleansed house and it is considered holy or protected. That feeling of blanketness, that nothing can touch you, that is a motherly feeling, that is a feminine energy. Vice versa, when your house is under siege or in danger, when you are in danger and the reaction you get to stop that motherfucker at all costs, that is male energy. Alright, and now, as a quick overview, I will go into the 7 Hermetic principles, which are the real versions of the 12 universal laws, so I can show you how everything correlates to one another. Principle number 1, the principle of mentalism, right? The all is mind, the universe is mental. That goes in to say that you can manipulate your reality however you want, with the right intent, the focus, and the ambition to do it. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below. So below, as above. We just heard that. Principle of vibration. We also heard that. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Yes, duality. And before I even continue, I will say that yes, everything is one, and yes, everything is dual. Everything is not dual because of the gods, everything is dual because of us. However, nonetheless, it is a fact. And that duality is also equally part of the divine oneness within us and around us. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in and out, like a transaction, actually. As my occult mentor, Frater Xavier, puts it, everything you do, physical and magical, is an input and output system. That would definitely correspond to the law of rhythm. Okay, number 6, the principle of cause and effects. We heard that. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Gender has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So there you have it, folks. This is a video on the 12 universal laws, and I gave you a recap summary with the 7 hermetic principles. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video, and you would like to know more about this in as much information as you can sponge yourself with, the 7 hermetic principles can be found within a book called the Kybalion. Now, I haven't actually read it yet, but I've been studying the 12 universal laws and the 7 hermetic principles for a long time. And although I tend to summarize things so that everybody can understand, it is still equally important to check your sources. So, to anybody who's genuinely interested in this, I suggest getting a copy of the Kybalion. If you have no idea where to buy a copy of the Kybalion, I would start at Barnes & Noble, because that is where I go personally for all of my books. So, I love you all, and blessed be.